right, welcome back to Alcove. I traveled 15 hours today just for this podcast episode. That is the only reason. Today with me, I have my cousin, Sarah. Say hi.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. I thought it would be fun because there's a couple of things that we share in common that we could be able to share on tonight's podcast. So the three that I'm going to do, we're going to start off with baseball. And I want to ask, are you familiar with banana ball?
I have never even heard of banana ball.
Fantastic. That is going to make this segment so much more fun.
Okay.
So banana ball is it's a very rapidly growing version of baseball where they have changed certain rules to make it, quote, a little bit more fun. And I know.
Baseball is already fun.
Okay. Well, for some people, it might be a little long and it might be a little boring. I know it's America's pastime, but banana ball started off with two teams, the Savannah Bananas and the I'm forgetting. It's right on the tip of my tongue. The something party animals, and then and they've been playing for a few years, and then this year they just introduced the third team to join, which are the firefighters.
Okay.
And they perform certain like skits just to like kind of get the crowd going. And then the game is itself is not scripted. But we're going to go through each of these rules and you're going to tell me if you think it's an improvement or they shouldn't have made the change from regular baseball.
Okay. And I have heard of the Savannah Bananas and I've seen little clips.
Okay.
But I didn't realize that they were calling it banana ball.
Yeah, it's called banana ball.
Okay. Carry on.
All right. Rule number 1, win the inning, get the point. Every inning is worth 1 point. The team with the most runs in an inning gets a point.
Yeah, it's not a point. A point?
In the last inning. In the last inning, every run counts as a point. Okay. So right off the bat, not happy with rule number 1. Okay.
A point.
Okay. Rule number 2, 2-hour time limit. No new inning can start after 2 hours.
So you have ties in baseball? No. Extra innings.
Okay. Not a fan of rule number 2. Okay.
I don't think baseball's too long.
We are not making it very, very well on these Savannah Banana or the banana ball rules. I actually love this just because it is like a lot of skits and a lot of entertainment that goes into it. A lot of showmanship. And another reason I really appreciate this is that they live stream every single game on YouTube for free.
That's cool.
And it's nice to be able to actually access sports and not have to pay 3 or 4 or 5 different streaming services an insane amount of money.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I do love that. Rule number 3, no stepping out. If the hitter steps out of the box, it's a strike.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Okay. Why not?
I mean, even baseball, like MLB now has rules about stepping out of the box. It's not a strike, but it's something that I feel like has become an issue with baseball where people will step out so much just to try to like throw off the rhythm of the game where it has become a problem. And again, I don't think baseball games are too long. Like when I worked graveyards, there was like a 21 inning game in the playoffs and it was midnight and I was at work and was still able to be watching the baseball game on TV and I was stoked. But I digress. Go ahead.
Okay. Rule number 4, no bunting. Bunting sucks. If a hitter bunts, they are ejected from the game.
I don't like that. There are definitely appropriate times for bunting.
Okay.
Ejected from the game?
Ejected from the game.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore on that one. All right, rule number 5, batters can steal first. On any pitch of an at-bat, the hitter can try to steal first base.
I mean, for something like this, that's probably fun and probably just adds... I don't want that to be in Major League Baseball, but it would probably be entertaining.
Yeah, I can see why this is purely like an entertainment choice rather than any kind of like modification to the rules to make more sense for, you know, the integrity of the game.
Totally just entertainment. I mean, I guess the MLB is supposed to be entertainment too, but yeah, carry on.
Rule number 6, no walks allowed. If a pitcher throws ball 4, it becomes a sprint. The hitter can advance to as many bases as they want, while every defensive player on the field must touch the ball before it becomes live.
What?
It's a lot of work.
Read that again.
If a pitcher throws ball 4, it becomes a sprint. The hitter can advance to as many bases as they want, while every defensive player on the field must touch the ball before it becomes live. So every defensive player has to touch that ball before they can get this guy out.
Okay. Yeah, obviously that's not something I want to happen in baseball, but again, it would be completely entertaining to watch.
Okay. Rule number 7, no mound visits allowed. No mound visits from coaches. Stay in your lane.
That's fine.
Okay. Rule number 8, if a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. Why not let the fans get in on some of the action?
Okay. All right. Yeah, again, for this, that would be fun. It would be entertaining watching people fall all over the place trying to make plays in the stands.
Rule number 9, showdown tiebreaker. Here's that tie part. If the game is tied at the end of the 2-hour time limit, the game will go into a showdown tiebreaker. In each showdown, the hitter must score. If they score, it's worth 1 point.
Run.
Okay.
So at least they have something to break a tie.
Yeah.
Because I can't just like go to sleep after a tied baseball game. Like, it has to end the right way.
Rule number 10, banana ball challenge. Each team and the fans get the opportunity to challenge a ruling on the field.
Yeah, I guess that would be fun.
Okay. And the last rule, rule number 11, golden batter rule. One time a game, a team may send any hitter in the lineup to bat in any spot.
I don't know. I guess, again, because this is just purely goofy entertainment, that would be great. Like, that's not strategic, really, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like you will not be watching Banana Ball.
I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it would be entertaining. I don't want anything to, like, replace the baseball that I love, but as a completely separate situation, I could watch that. It sounds like it would be funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will continue to be watching Banana Ball often.
I'm proud of you that you're watching it.
Okay.
That's like a big step towards baseball, even though it's completely goofy. It makes me proud.
Okay. I'm glad I could make you proud in this moment.
Yeah.
As my favorite cousin too, by the way.
Yes.
Oh shoot, I had a follow up for this and I forgot. It might come to me later and we'll jump back to it.
Okay.
But I have a couple of discontinued Olympic sports. And now I know you haven't been paying as close attention to this Olympic sports as you would have preferred because of other exciting developments in a different political sphere. But I found a couple of fun Olympic sports that have been discontinued, and I just want to get your opinion if you think we should be bringing them back.
Okay.
Because I love all of these, and they sound like they would be pretty exciting to bring back. Now, some of these only appeared in 1 or even 2 Olympics and never made a comeback. The first one is a 200-meter swimming obstacle race. It's a combination of a swimming event and an obstacle race where the competitors had to climb over a pole, then scramble over a row of boats, and then swim under another row of boats.
I'd watch that.
That sounds to me like it would be actually really entertaining.
Yeah.
And instead of just like, oh, wow, he swam to the other side of the pool and he swam back.
Right.
Nice.
Not super entertaining.
Yeah. I think sailing could be fun. This had very, very few entries. But I also don't necessarily see the skill set for this.
Same. It doesn't seem like it would fall in an athletic category. Not that they don't have to like be physical to like sail, but Yeah, same.
Maybe
it's not
they
like
could- Maybe an option would be, what's the one where it's like one person on like what is like a surfboard with a sail? It's not called parasailing, is it? No.
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about though?
I do know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what it's called
Yeah.
either.
I feel like that's definitely requires a lot of physical
Is it
prowess.
kite surfing?
Something like that.
I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, that's much more physical on like one specific person, like more demanding, I would say.
Yeah.
But I am not a sailor, so maybe I am not giving sailors enough credit.
Maybe
I don't really want to watch.
knot tying. Then we can give the sailors an opportunity to really shine.
There we go. There we go.
Tug of war.
I would totally watch Tug of War.
I feel like tug of war would be an amazing sport just to see the beefiest of men and women from each country competing to just pull the other side across. I would love it.
I would totally watch Tug of War. I agree.
Tug of war would definitely be on like the top 5 every year. Like I have to sit down and I have to watch this and I will be betting money on it.
Tug of War is on.
And then we have life saving. Was not expecting to find this one as an Olympic sport, but they had 2 kind of versions of this. They had mannequin relays and rescue races. Seems a little odd to me.
Yeah, I see the value in people having those skills, but that's not really something I want to watch competitively. That seems like something they would have at like firemen's games during the summer at like your local volunteer fire department or something. Not really.
Yeah, it's like watching an episode of Baywatch.
Yeah, like we're gonna have a chili cook-off, and then we're gonna have
some mannequin relays.
some mannequin relays.
I love it. Okay, hot air ballooning.
No.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
super
I'm not
exciting. Although I would love to see, especially with like all the outfit kits this year, I would love to see what some countries come up with as like their balloon design.
Yeah,
I think we could
that's
get to see some cool stuff that way.
Yeah, and I mean, hot air balloons are beautiful, but what is the goal? What is it? A race?
Yeah, it's a race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, can't be super athletic, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
This one is so extra. It makes no sense. I cannot believe this was ever an Olympic sport, but it's called pole archery, otherwise known as popinjay. And archers shoot at fake birds that were hung from tall poles. Basically, have you ever seen grown-ups where they like all stand in a circle and like shoot the arrow up and it like comes down? Have you seen the movie?
I have not seen the movie.
Well, it's kind of like this for anyone listening. And archers are standing on the ground and they're kind of like aiming up and they're trying to shoot fake birds that are just hung from like a super tall pole. It's so extra, but I just needed to bring it up. I can't imagine anyone would want to bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, I might watch it just because it's weird. And it does take skill too, I would guess. That takes a lot more skill than several of the things I feel like that you previously named. So,
Fair.
I mean, just for the weirdness factor, I might watch a round or so before I went to anything else.
And this last one comes from the olden days. Back when they did pretty much near naked wrestling at the Olympics, we have chariot racing.
I would watch the hell out of chariot racing.
I would kill for it.
So when I was a kid, when there was this satellite dish outside that is like the size of a house, you know, like those old school ones, we didn't have like the package. We hadn't like bought the package. And so we would have to like change the satellite and it would go like, and like shift. And then we would just like scan until we could like find something on TV. And there was always like basically chariot racing on.
Amazing.
And it was glorious. I
love it.
loved it. Yeah. I would totally watch the hell out of that.
Our university, like all the fraternity and sorority life people, it was called Greek Week, and we did a bunch of like ancient Greek like events, for whatever reason, and we had chariot racing for years, and then it went away, and then it came back my sophomore year, and it only lasted 1 year because
horses?
No,
Oh.
with people.
Nice.
And there were a lot of injuries.
I bet there were.
And so they're like, university was like, no, this is a
Yeah.
lawsuit waiting to happen. We cannot allow this event. So we are closing this off again. But it was glorious to watch.
Yeah.
3 men race another 3 men as chariots. It was great.
I bet that was
But
injury laden.
so many injuries because
Yeah.
also we're talking about 18 to 22-year-old men in fraternities. So they were also all drinking.
Yeah, lubed up for sure.
Yeah. So lots of bad decisions were being made on that one.
Yeah, I would say so. Good times.
The good old days. Yeah. Okay. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, we are the bluest of members in our families.
100%.
By far. And so there's so many different ways I wanted to bring this. But first of all, let's start this way. What was your experience? Did you grow up realizing you were blue in a red family? Or when did you realize that your political beliefs were so different from those from your family?
So I grew up a redneck kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like my views were uninformed.
Mm-hmm.
And like, well, my friends are this, and so I grew up being uninformed and thinking that I was conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I got older and paid more attention, I'm like, but I have friends who are LGBTQ. Like, why would I want them to not have these rights? Like, I have friends that are all different skin colors. I have just such a more open mind, and it started being like really obvious, like, oh, you are very much on the wrong side of the road here. So it probably, I think I was like maybe 20. I'm 42. I was probably 20 by the time I was like, this absolutely has to like stop. I have to, and then I was just an independent. Like I still wasn't like, oh, I'm a Democrat because I just wasn't paying that much attention still. I just knew that I couldn't be hateful towards people. So yeah, it took me longer than it should have. My parents are not super political either way. And they probably, growing up in Arcata and living their whole lives in Humboldt County, are probably a little like more left of center than right of center. So I don't think it was as big of a jump for me.
Okay. Well, for me, I was also similar. Like, grew up, had friends that were in the Alphabet Mafia. Had like definitely like recognized that I had different ideas than some of the family that I had. But it wasn't until I was like 19 or 20 and I had like grown up, and then like there were more political conversations happening around me. People like to say, oh, you went to especially University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho. You went to U of I, and now you live in a liberal cesspool. We had a state senator call our town a liberal cesspool.
That is laughable for any place in Idaho to be called a liberal cesspool.
Right. Yeah. It's just because a bunch of retired hippies moved there, and new shock, those retired hippies are not tolerant. They are not great people. I have met many of them, and it's not great.
Good hippies don't move to Idaho. No offense.
Okay, fair enough. Those are cosplay hippies.
They live in Garberville here in Northern California. Yeah.
Anyways, and so people try to say like, "Oh, college turned you liberal," but I was like, "Well, no. College was just the first time in my life where I'm like, I don't have a parental figure around me or like an adult like trying to inform my decision. I am actively being asked, what are your thoughts and opinions, and like, what do you really believe and why, and being really pushed to define like my beliefs and my understandings.
Right.
And that's when I was finally able to like discover the terms that like helped inform my understanding of like my political beliefs. And I'm definitely not a Democrat. I don't want to say what I am, but I will tell you and everyone listening that I believe in public education.
Yeah.
And publicly funded roads, and a universal basic income.
Baby.
I
Me
love UBI, and I have never heard of a single test for UBI failing and not massively improving the local economy. So, yeah. And so,
I'm with you.
great.
I'm with you.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so growing up, you didn't feel like conservatism was like necessarily like forced on you then?
Not in my house. Other family members, my direct parents, no.
Okay.
Pretty much the rest of the family.
Yeah.
It was very clear where they stood. But yeah, my immediate mom and dad, like they've always voted and whatnot. But I mean, most of my life, my dad wrote in Homer Simpson for the presidential candidate. Like, I'm not even joking how many times my father has voted for Homer Simpson.
Okay.
So I feel like neither of them have taken politics super seriously until
2016.
recent years. Yeah, 2016. Yeah, exactly. So not forced on me in the same way. No.
Yeah. Okay. And I wouldn't say people's beliefs were necessarily forced on me either. But I would definitely say like, I don't know. I don't remember. I remember being asked what are my beliefs around religion and being told like follow what you believe. But I don't remember being asked, what are your thoughts on abortion?
Right.
What are your thoughts on gay marriage?
Right.
And like I kind of like the earliest memory I actually have of like having real political conversations outside of the home was I remember sitting at a music festival and it was the day that the Supreme Court announced gay marriage was going to be legalized. And suddenly our whole camp, everyone was drinking or high or whatever, and suddenly we were having like an open political conversation, and I was like, what the fudge is going on around me? This is a totally new experience for me. And that was actually, gosh, that was 2015, I think, right? I want to say it was 2015. I'm trying to remember which summer it was, but it was like right before or right after I had started college.
Right.
And so that was a nice little prelude. So when did you, because now I know you as being very vocal in your political beliefs. When did that change where you started being much more vocal and much more like concrete about your beliefs?
You know, it probably changed in 2014.
Okay. What happened?
Donald Trump
The
becoming
rise.
a thing and starting to talk about running, and then he is running, and we went from the Obama administration that was very even keel, and I wasn't paying enough attention then either. But I went from just living my life to like, oh wait, what is this maniac saying? Like, what? And why are these people following him? Like, why are people saying like, oh, I'm with him? Like, what? People that I like
When he's
have
not
known
with you.
my whole life and loved, and I know that they were like good people and had good hearts, but then are like embracing this person who is just a monster and has proven for decades that he is a monster, and he is like the opposite of everything loving and caring and patriotic. Like, he is a criminal. He's a rapist. He is... And to me, it became very clear that we have to be loud about this. Like, what? Like, I thought these people are going to snap out of this. Like, we need to point out, like, but look, did you see this? Did you see that he said this? Did you see that he did this? Like, surely they're just missing this. Like, and we know that that's not the case now, but it seemed like speaking out was the right thing to do. And I still am going to speak out.
Sure.
Even though I think that some are lost to me. But we can't just not speak out and be outspoken about it. We can't, I can't let somebody like drop an N-word and just act like it didn't happen. Like, I can't, like, I can't do that. Like, and if we, as super privileged white people, like, don't say, bro, that's wrong. Like, don't say that. Like, and call that out and make it uncomfortable, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. It's going to grow like a bacteria, like it is right now, like a disease. So I guess that's when. But now I wish that I would have been a lot more cognizant, because I also feel like he is a symptom, not the whole problem himself. Right?
Definitely. I don't think there's a figurehead that's been more impactful, but I think